And welcome to the Philip Cochran channel, viewers. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. It helps this channel to grow, and it helps me to bring you these great videos that we all love. So we've got the Durafly Spitfire out again, left, right, up, down. Winds died right down last flight of the day. Glad this has got some lights on her. That's my wobbly landing gear. And me giving it a little too much throttle, but I'm kind of rushing a little bit. Getting hard to see in the lower light. And again, glad this one's got some lights on it. I wanted to come out a little bit earlier today, and I got a couple more batteries charged. But it was super windy. I mean, like, 20 miles an hour plus. And it's still a little windy right now, but manageable and fun to fly in. Not hold on for dear life to fly in. That's no fun. It is if you intend to do that. If you take out like a timber or something like that and you want to go ride the wind, it's great fun, right? Especially if you got to come in a nice constant direction all the time, preferably in line with your runway and not a crosswind. But yeah, it's great fun, right? But for and I mean, it depends on the plane, obviously, entirely, right? That's why guys, rave about balsa so much there, right? Because they're obviously a heavier plane that's going to fly a bit more solid and stable. This thing's super light. For a 1.1 meter, I would say it's on the kind of smaller of the scale. But it's like RC cars, 10 scale cars, like that's so abused. Nowadays, right? What people calling a 10 scale car. It used to be pretty much a standard for 20 years, industry standard. Like, this is the size of what a 10 scale car is, but not anymore. And scale, planes have really never had the, scale thing applied to them, like that they're, just based on the wingspans, right? So, and even those, right, you can have two planes from two different companies, and, have more different exaggerated features than others, maybe. This one's a pretty scale Spitfire. The only thing I would improve or change on it is to have the canopy and a little more of a bubble to it there than the flat things, but that's a little bit harder to make there. The Avios has that there. It's got like the little bubble to the thing. It's a pretty small detail, you don't really see too much when you're flying, but it's kind of cool nonetheless, right? But again, I mentioned it in the Corsair video, I think, like the Corsair 1.2 meter from E-flite is massive compared to this plane, and heavier, definitely heavier, but that's more of a super scale or scale type aircraft. I think there's some other manufacturers that kind of boast that too, a little bit more of scale dimensions on their models. I don't know. Anyway, we're coming down to the mark. I'd like to do a few practice runs with this. Let's pop our gear down. Line up with the runway. Let's stay on this side. Landing down this way. Circle around here. That nice fading sunset. Look at that orange sun. That's beautiful. Don't stare at it, Phil. Don't stare at it, Phil. Don't stare at it, Phil. I almost did. Ooh. Well, that was definitely not a scale landing, but it was a landing nonetheless. I don't quite like standing here and having to turn my head as I land it like that, but it's all good practice, right? Might as well walk back and say our goodbyes. Taxiing's fun, but you don't always have to do it all the time. Man, I see some guys doing it on grass there. I know they kind of have no choice because of, again, the rules for the field, but it looks so hard on the plane as you bouncing and smashing around. I go, Jesus, like, you better check your plugs and connections after by the time it gets over to the runway, right? Yeah, that's gonna make for a beautiful shot. Beautiful. No cars came. Perfect flight. Not a perfect landing, but a landing nonetheless. Oh yeah. That's our show for you today, folks. Love and peace from Canada. And we are YouTube.